Good morning, folks. We'll start with coronal holes. This paper is meant to describe the alpha waves as the coronal heating mechanism, those magnetic forces. And while I certainly hope you will check out this source, it's the opposite end of the spectrum of what causes these umbral openings to be major earthquake watch factors. Beyond the statistical correlation shown at this channel for 2 years, it is well understood that the alpha waves from coronal holes do a better job transferring energy to the planets than does the surrounding irradiance. From the solar fields parting through solar wind acceleration, this paper is a nice complement to everything going on here. Yesterday, we shared the new NASA JPL orbital diagram for Comet ISON. It was actually updated again yesterday, but I can't tell any difference from what we've shown here. Good paper out of the Southwest Research Institute fully explains what I tried to share on the news video from October 12th. For ISON's expected perihelion distance, the shred limit is 200 meters. Since ISON is expected to be 2.5 to 5 times the shred limit, we now fully expect it to survive perihelion, and with its monopolar trajectory, that one side unlit by the sun this whole time so far may get glowing as it exits. The chance of danger of a pre-1 AU fracture is almost gone, but the chance for a great show is on a rocket-like rise. Oh, and CIOC, update your light curve already, bruh. What you doing over there? I'm neither recommending nor calling out this article, except I'll pull the pants down on whoever decided to jack the star shooting water bullets photo, change the jet color, and pass it off again. Come on, guys. Top story on the new RSOE is an oil spill in North Dakota. It's over 20,000 barrels of crude. That's no minor spill. Typhoon has killed 8 in Japan, luckily weakened significantly before swiping Fukushima. Priscilla off the coast is heading away, and although Octave dissipated and the west coast is taking it a bit easy today, the moisture left over is creeping into Texas, who's kind enough to share it with the rest of the class. Thank you. 2 fronts in Europe, one getting into Greece and Eastern Europe, and one just cresting now. Easy to see, Tassie and areas south taking the worst here. Saw 100-kilometer winds already. We have 1 or 2 nearly imperceptible interplanetary shocks from the CME, but the coronal hole stream is dominating. On SOHO, you see the leading density spike out ahead of the very speedy particles. So far, we've had no magnetic storms, but instability remains as the faster particles are maintaining density above 1 proton per cubic centimeter. You can see the sensitive electron flux not yet able to recover completely despite its best efforts last night. Looking at the sunspots, they were decaying, caught themselves, and righted the ship. Flares of moderate range have come every few hours, still no X-class flares. Remember, the most dangerous sunspot situation will witness both polarity umbras within a penumbral group. Careful not to mistake surface plagues in the diagnosis. You do see 2 areas here that are mixing magnetically. These, however, are departing, and the limb looked more impressive, popping M flares just out of sight behind the limb. Stonyhurst heliographic showing full disk in 195 angstroms reveals more big sunspots right behind the incomers now. Could be a fun show amidst this so far sad solar max. Coronal hole power last night when I elevated the watch score. Of course, moments after doing so, the power began disappearing. And the umbral and coronal magnetic fields began blocking over top of that outward magnetic force. The topside coronal hole is still strengthening and not blocked by the fields, turning in to face Earth directly today. So we indeed have a significant coronal hole and complex sunspots on the disk. The increase in complexity has not produced any major Earth-directed CMEs, just minor ejecta. Couple interesting points before we close. Watch right in the yellow, which is Venus. Mercury's magnetic connection is hiding there, making the 3 inner planets all connected to our star in the same place, on the backside from Earth's point of view, on about the exact longitude currently facing ISON. That's interesting. Not a full moon in 2 days, watch for the crazies. Filaments revealing themselves on the limb to come complement everything else going on. Eyes open. No fear, it's 6:50 a.m. Eastern Time, and that's the news. Be safe, everyone.